Actors. They don't just want the big speeches, the tearful breakdowns, and the red carpet receptions. They want the adrenaline. They want to live on the edge. They want to show us that they're not just pretty faces who can memorize dialogue. They're also willing to put their physical safety on the line, purely for our entertainment. Well, some of them are. In this video, we're going to be looking at 10 actors who, whether for the integrity of their performance, or just because they're kind of crazy, decided to keep their stunt doubles on the bench.
I think people are going to be really surprised. They're going to marvel. Oh.
So, you're acclaimed, Oscar-nominated actor Willem Dafoe. You're in your mid-60s. You're asked to return to the Spider-Man cinematic universe and reprise your role as Norman Osborn and Green Goblin. You say sure. You'll come to the set for a couple days, but you just want a quick, easy cameo, and you definitely won't be doing any stunts. Okay, so you're clearly not Willem Dafoe because that's not what he said.
I don't understand.
In fact, Dafoe's #1 condition for returning as Green Goblin in Spider-Man No Way Home was that he wanted to do as many of his own stunts as possible. To reiterate, the guy is in his mid-60s. And this wasn't just bravado. Dafoe was committed to the integrity of the character and told director John Watts that the physical side of the performance was key to that. And even when he wasn't balancing on a glider, Dafoe was impressing people with the pure ferocity of his performance. So ferocious that, according to co-star Zendaya, he scared the hell out of everyone. What an icon. Sticking with No Way Home, no conversation about Spider-Man movies and stunts would be complete without a mention of a certain Mr. Tom Holland. Tom Holland, as you may know, is a gymnast and a dancer, which seems as good a time as any to share this clip.
Just singing in the rain.
And he has brought that physicality and enthusiasm to the role of Spider-Man from the beginning. Whether that's doing a full backflip in his first audition, jumping off metal poles, running up walls, or performing sideways flips off moving cars for No Way Home. The higher-ups at Sony and Marvel are, shall we say, ambivalent about this. After all, for insurance purposes, it's probably concerning that one of their most bankable stars loves to throw himself around like a circus acrobat. On the other hand, people love it when actors are game for stunts. And Holland isn't a complete nutjob. He does know when to hand over to his stunt doubles. He even publicly thanked them on Instagram recently. And hey, admit it, if you could do backflips, you'd want to show people too. Keanu Reeves is legendary for a few reasons. He's supposed to be one of the genuinely nicest guys in Hollywood, for one thing. For another, he's an absolute machine when it comes to action. He's been doing his own stunts from as far back as Point Break, and subsequent roles in Speed, The Matrix, and the John Wick movies have only strengthened his status as a legend of the genre. And while he may be pushing 60 now, Reeves isn't slowing down. The Matrix Resurrections has just dropped, and Reeves is still doing his own stunt work, including jumping off of a building 46 stories high, attached to a wire, of course. And he didn't just do that stunt once, it took about 19 takes.
So what if he makes it?
No one's ever made the first jump.
Not enough Keanu action for you? The actor has also been training ferociously for John Wick 4, practicing hand-to-hand combat and firearms, as well as the usual combat rolls, falls, and running. We just hope we're even half that spry when we hit 60. Daniel Craig recently hung up his hat as James Bond with No Time to Die, and most fans agreed that it was a fitting send-off for the longest-serving 007. Not only that, but Craig has been more hands-on with stunt work than any previous Bond actor. He has body doubles for the really crazy stuff, of course, but he does enough of his own action to sustain multiple injuries since his debut in Casino Royale back in 2006. These have included damaged knees and teeth being knocked out. He's even lost the tip of a finger. But the show must go on, and No Time to Die's stunt coordinator Lee Morrison described the 53-year-old actor as an unleashed caged lion on the set of the new movie. Of course, all this hand-to-hand combat and riding motorcycles takes preparation, and Craig trained with an ex-military operative to get in shape for No Time to Die. His punishing preparation included a year of working out and dieting, endless protein shakes, abdominal rollers, Russian twists. Hold on, are we talking about exercises or cocktails that James Bond might order in some swanky casino somewhere? The likes of Keanu Reeves and Daniel Craig have been in the game for a long time, but there are plenty of new action stars rising up, eager to get their hands dirty. Before his MCU debut in Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings, Simu Liu was most known for more low-key roles. But that doesn't mean he was completely unprepared to pull off his own stunts. After all, they don't just let anybody double for Pete Wentz in a Fall Out Boy music video. And while he was by no means a martial arts expert before joining the cast of the Phase 4 action-adventure, Simu Liu was keen to learn as much as possible. That bus fight sequence, that's pretty much all him. As always, this intense physicality required preparation, and while Liu was certainly in shape when he started the movie, there's in shape and then there's in shape. To get into the flexible skin of the world's greatest martial artist, the actor had to do intense stretching exercises 5 times a week for 4 months. Not to mention bodybuilding, combat training, and the infamous Marvel diet. Seriously, Google it. Come on, you knew this one was coming. Tom Cruise is one of the most iconic actors that Hollywood has ever produced. A true star with a capital S. And a big part of his brand, even now he's pushing 60, is that he does his own stunts. And not just any old stunts, we're talking the kinds of stunts that most professional stuntmen would think twice about. In fact, Cruise once opted to fire an insurance company and find one that would cover him, rather than back down from the crazy stuff that he wanted to do. That's commitment. The Mission Impossible franchise has been the main beneficiary of Tom Cruise's willingness to go above and beyond, and then beyond again. He did his fair share of stunts in the first 3 movies, but things really kicked into gear with the Burj Khalifa sequence in Mission Impossible Ghost Protocol. Can you think of many other actors who would swing around on a wire near the top of the world's tallest building? And since then, we've had jaw-dropping stunt after jaw-dropping stunt, from the plane sequence at the beginning of Rogue Nation to the halo jump in Fallout, with some high-speed motorcycling thrown in for good measure. Without a helmet, naturally. Oh, and of course, running. Lots of running. Back to Marvel and the new generation. The Hawkeye show only recently wrapped up, but we're pretty sure we're going to be seeing Hailee Steinfeld's Kate Bishop again before long. Steinfeld did have a stunt double for the show. In fact, she worked with none other than Scarlett Johansson's double. But that didn't stop her from doing as many of her own stunts as she was allowed to. This involved lots of combat training, as you would expect, and getting handy with a bow and arrow. After all, Bishop does consider herself to be the world's greatest archer. But there were some wilder stunts as well, including falling off the roof of a building and getting tangled up in Christmas lights. Was Steinfeld worried? Not particularly. She said that while the action sequences might look intricate and overwhelming, it's nice to have somebody that believes in you and pushes you. Amen to that. If there's one person on this list who can give Tom Cruise a run for his money when it comes to sheer bonkers physical stunt work, it's gotta be Hong Kong legend Jackie Chan. He may need to rely more on body doubles now that he's getting older, but for most of his career, Chan was the guy putting himself in harm's way. He's broken 10 bones, suffered electrical burns and lacerations from broken glass, he's lost teeth, damaged his spine, dislocated his pelvis, and he's hit his head so hard he passed out and almost died. He once nearly lost an eye, and that's not even the half of it. In fact, Guinness World Records actually give Chan a certificate for the most stunts performed by a living actor. The guy is so famous for nerve-shredding stunts that the end credits of his movies used to roll over behind-the-scenes footage of setups going wrong. Hey, if he can laugh about it, we guess we can too. A lot of guys on this list, right? Well, a certain Charlize Theron has Hailee Steinfeld's back. Theron has quietly become one of our most compelling presences in action and sci-fi cinema, with intense and exciting turns in the likes of Mad Max Fury Road, Atomic Blonde, and The Old Guard. And a big part of this is down to the fact that Theron does her own stunts wherever possible. Atomic Blonde director David Leitch even said that Theron was in their top 1 percentile of actors who are willing to get their hands dirty. Theron is particularly well versed in hand-to-hand combat, and she has the scars to prove it. On the set of The Old Guard, she pinched a nerve in her elbow and required surgery for a nasty thumb injury. However, stunt double Monique Ganderton praises Theron, saying it's not about ego with her. It's about getting the best shot and being efficient. Professionalism. We love to see it. For our final entry, we're taking one last trip to the Marvel Cinematic Universe and catching up with a man named Chris Evans, aka Captain America. Evans, who truly embodies his superhero alter ego, has made a point of doing as many of his own stunts as possible, and there is plenty of awesome behind-the-scenes footage of him flipping around and punching bad guys, with the opening ship assault in The Winter Soldier being a good example of his commitment to the performance. All this, of course, takes training, from putting on pounds and pounds of muscle to choreography and calorie consumption. Evans is more than game, though. In his own words, the actor said, "Anytime I can get the gloves on and get in the ring, and they'll let me, I'll do it." You might even say he could do this all day.
I understood that reference.
Of course, not all actors are so keen to throw themselves into danger. Samuel L. Jackson is one iconic star who would rather leave the stunts to the professionals. "Why would I do that?" he once said. "If you want a long career, you don't do all that stuff."